There we go. She also does rescue work with kitty cats. So if anybody needs a kitty cat. Okay, here we go. Live on Facebook.
All right. So welcome, everybody.
I don't think we're streaming yet. Not
okay,
yet.
well, never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it yet.
Over recordings.
On your page.
I can't think what our show's called anyway right now.
Yeah. The Duchenne life.
So,
All right, preparing.
No, Dada.
There's Mike.
No.
look, can I brag about my article at the end of this?
All right.
That would be awesome.
All right. Hello. My kids are melting down in the background, so I'm just going to hand this right on over to these guys. Ryan, don't forget to give a plug about your article, and also I'm going to share with everybody. My friend is doing a fantastic Duchenne awareness campaign for June. Duchenne Awareness Month. I'll put it in there, but Quade Journey Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, my friend Jade is creating Duchenne rummy cards, and it's a really cool thing. It's super fun. So I'll put the link in the chat, and I can't wait to hear what kind of trouble you guys got into when y'all were teenagers in high school. Take it away.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, first of all, you've heard of the Hells Angels. There's wheelchair gangs. You got to watch out for us. I'm sure none of us did that in high school, though. But welcome, everybody. We got DJ and Matthew and Felix here, and I'm Ryan.
Hello.
We're going to talk about our fun high school experiences and answer questions that you may have. Let's see, how should we do? Should we start with the most recent high school experiences or the most distant high school experiences? What do you guys think? Okay.
Either or.
All right. Let's see. Felix, give us a quick overview of your high school days.
All right. So in high school, let's see where to start. So I guess one of the things I did in high school was the extracurricular wise is called Science Olympiad. And so I was involved in basically partnering up with people and then taking basically Science Olympiad events, which were just basically different types of science things. And I got to know a lot of people through that. As for regular high school, I just did like what was basically required of me during high school, and then not taking more than I have to, because like just trying to make sure like I'm not taking too many classes and not being overly tired from that. And I think one of the bigger challenges at this time was also trying to like basically get everything done before oh yeah, sorry. I was in high school from 2011 to 2015. So that's when I was in high school, and I was in public school. So I went to Seven Lakes High School, which is here in Katy, Texas. I might have mentioned this last time, but we have a pretty big school. My class was 1,000 people. So just to give you an idea of that. So really big school. I guess I don't know. Am I just rambling? I guess, yeah. So a lot of the things I had to consider were trying to make sure I get to class in time, avoiding the traffic because ton of people there, and that can be pretty dangerous. At this time I've been pretty much using my scooter. I'm still able to have limited mobility. That's pretty much where I was at that time. I don't know if Ryan, do you think that I need to cover anything else?
What kind of were you in any clubs? I think you said I got distracted.
Sorry, yeah, I was in a club called Science Olympiad. So that's science competitions, basically.
Okay. I heard science, I'm like, oh, he's too smart for me. So just
Well, I mean, I got involved in a lot of different things. Tried a bunch of different things. Met a lot of people through that. So that's kind of my method, I guess, for friends. But I wouldn't really call it a method. More just getting involved in different things.
All right, and while Matthew and DJ are probably typing your answers, I'll go ahead and go, even though I don't know where the age is after this. So I went to high school from 1997 to 2001. And Felix, I appreciate you not saying your high school days were a long time ago. Okay, thank you for that.
Not a problem.
Yeah, I think things changed a lot. I went to a smaller school. I always went to public school. It was always so it's a small community, same grades. I was just about one of the first people to go through my school that was like physically disabled without a mental. So there was quite a learning curve. By the time I got to high school, it was pretty good though. The only annoying thing was the desks. We'd have to turn a desk around for me to use my wheelchair, and I never quite completely fit all the way, but it worked. As a sophomore, I could raise my hand, or freshman, I could still raise my hand, ask questions, and I spent a lot of time in the library playing chess. So I could still go to the library, and I was able to actually get books up on the counter to check out. Somewhere around my junior year, I think maybe into sophomore, the librarian is like, "Oh, you struggle with that, don't you?" So she let me come around to the back. So I think it's like the summer after my sophomore year, I got back. Junior year, and I was having a lot more trouble then, but I got to be a peer mediator, which possibly helped lead me to a PhD in psychology. I was president of that group, president of the chess club. 3 years, almost four, with the sponsor, he was a librarian, wouldn't let me run my senior year. And I was just active in a lot of things. Here lately, I think I realized I wasn't as active as I thought. Just because, there's a lot of social stuff we've talked about that I probably missed. But it was a good experience. What some of my complaints, I had to do physical therapy. They wouldn't count it as a PE credit. So it was just an empty credit. And I'm like, give me a credit for it, but for giving it, something for it. I got along well with people. Like anybody in high school, I thought I was really cool. Then you get out of high school and realize nobody in high school is very cool. You're all a bunch of dorks. So it was good. I started using an electric wheelchair then because it had a bunch of ramps to get up and down. And, who has their response ready? Or I can keep blabbing. I'm good at that.
Oh, here we go.
We'll let you read DJ's answer.
All right. DJ says, I went to high school from 95 to 99. I also went to public school. My high school days were mostly normal. I was really into FFA, which I forget what that stands for, if you can put that in the chat. I had a
Future Farmers of America.
Future Farms. Okay. I had a few great friends that helped me with just about everything. Also during my high school years, it was under construction most of the time, so getting around was definitely a little difficult. Yeah, for sure. That would be very annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be. Because you're always worried anyway. Like my wheelchair at the time had a warning on there. Warning, like some signal could make it just go off on its own. And my high school had, along with ramps, they had some big like stairs. And going by those is always a little creepy. Can't imagine going by a building's site and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep.
So let's see. Felix, how did
Mhm.
did you eat at the school cafeteria?
Yes, I did. So, um, basically what I did was leave early most of the time. So that's always been something I've always had to ask for, but generally most people were okay with that. So for eating wise, I would just go there, and there would be people there to help me as well with things if I needed it. Other than that, I also like sat really close to where the line is essentially, because that just easier. Sometimes that made it harder to like, I guess, get people to eat with me, but there were always a couple of friends that would always hang out with me, so that was really nice. But I guess that didn't really apply to all of my friends, but because no one really wants to sit in the front where like all the people are, and like the security guard. We also had a few security guards there too. I guess because our school is just super big, so that's necessary. But yeah, that was kind of my lunch situation.
Okay. Mine. So most of the time I do my physical therapy with uh like self-contained class or was special needs that need
Mhm.
somebody there with them more. So after I do physical therapy, I stayed there was basically an aide. Well, they all go to lunch early, so I got to go with them. And
Oh,
other
nice.
classes let me go early, and I wouldn't try to get any extras as having a disability, but I'll go to lunch early. Okay. So Matthew, we've got his awesome answer. I will read Matthew's answer. I was in high school from 2003 to 2007. I was in drama class. I went to public school. I tried college prep, but it was so difficult, so I went back to regular education. I had a school aide to help me. Okay, that's nice that you had an aide. I didn't have an aide myself. Did Felix or DJ have an aide at school?
I didn't have one either. Okay, here's DJ. DJ says I never ate while in high school, mostly due to not having a way to use the bathroom, nor was there anyone to assist me. Sometimes I grabbed a drink from my mom.
Okay. Yeah, I was able to. Yeah, I don't know. I had some kind of super human bladder back then. I guess I was young.
And also, school food is nothing to miss. I don't know about y'all. Like, school food is
Well,
always, yeah, school
I
food.
wasn't that. I wasn't that turned off by it. It was okay with me, but um, my class was my school was an open campus, so people could leave for lunch. My
Oh,
senior
okay.
year, me and is that my group of friends were the only people that stayed on campus for lunch, pretty much, as seniors.
Our school is like, you are banned from leaving campus during school hours at
Yeah,
all.
but
Like, so,
time period. But yeah, DJ, that would be rough.
yeah.
But maybe that's why you're so good looking, DJ. I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't have to eat the school food.
Yeah, see there. Yeah, I went to high school as a freshman. I was actually pretty trim, not heavy at all. My senior year, after eating French fries every day, and I
Mm.
yeah, I definitely changed. I lost a lot of weight after that. Wow, after I quit eating. So there's the ultimate living a Duchenne weight loss plan that we're gonna market. Eat high school cafeteria food and then stop. There you go. That'll be $100 a month for everybody listening.
Yep. Well, then the college food get you fattened up with the buffet and stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah, I went to college, but I still lived at home, so I didn't eat the college food.
Yeah, I was at home as well. I just sometimes ate with people in the
Oh, okay.
serveries. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to get gain weight from that for sure.
Yes, DJ is pretty big in high school as well because mom fed me good.
That's nice.
I think that's probably one of the, at least for our generation. And I didn't do steroids.
Hmm.
Is we, you go to school, you're kind of can still move around, you're still able to burn calories off. Then somewhere in there is that transition when you can't burn calories off anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is hard. You're a teenager that eats. No, my high school never crushed anybody. Oh, so Lindy asked about high school crushes. Did someone have to drive you? So while everybody's formulating their answers, yeah, I had a high school crush. The poor girl. I was nuts about her. I was sure I was going to marry her. But I finally asked her on a date my senior year. It took me like 10, 15 minutes to ask her, and she said, sure. Oh, okay. But then I went on another date with another girl. Then I went with the one I liked again. Um, so I double dated. I had a friend that he'd have a date, so he'd drive me. It was real funny at our high school senior prom. I had an old van. It rained like crazy, which normally doesn't happen in southern Arizona. Well, the window wasn't sealed very well, so half the driver's seat was soaking wet.
Wow.
So we had to put a towel in it back in the day. Um, so yeah,
Not really for me.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, not really.
Um, so did you have any people that Felix that maybe you wanted to hang out with that seemed a little unapproachable, maybe, or that took you a little bit of time to like
Yeah.
reach out to or talk to, try to become friends with?
Well, I kind of felt like participating in those extracurriculars were a really helpful way for me to get to know people. And then basically it kind of snowballs, like people know other people, and then you kind of get to know other people through your current friends. So that kind of was my way of knowing people, and a lot of the people I went to middle school with as well. So kept those contacts, of course, and then yeah, just grew from there basically.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. You want to read Matthew? Then I'll read DJ.
Sure. Matthew says I ate in lunchroom, but by 10th grade I had to have help eating because I couldn't lift my arms anymore. At first I ate in the classroom, then I decided I didn't care what people think. So by 12th grade, I went back to the lunchroom and I had a few crushes, and mom drove me to school.
And then I will read DJ's. I had one as well. I didn't really get to hang out with friends out of school. Besides, one of my best friends lived next door and we were always together. And that reminds me, like, I rode a bus to school.
Yeah, me too
I had a
as well.
crush on my bus driver. She was really good looking. Let me,
Oh. Mm.
but yeah, speaking of crushes. Anyway, that one doesn't count though, okay? But yeah, yeah, I think I've said this like every time we've talked, but my senior year, I had no idea how limited contact I had with other people or that I didn't really hang out with like everybody else. One day my parents were at the store and I got a call from somebody saying, hey Ryan, we're having a party at my house. Can you be there? When does it start? Oh, in 10 minutes. I was like, oh. I had to see my parents. Oh, okay. And I realized, wow, I'm missing out on all this stuff.
Mm-mm.
So Matthew, I like that you didn't hear what people thought, so you went back to the cafeteria. it took me a lot longer than high school to get to that. I think a lot of my high school, I actually tried to fool people to act like I didn't have as much of a disability as I did. And I only fooled myself. So I think that's really awesome, Matthew, that you were that mature in high school. Lindy, did you have any crushes in high school? You don't need to tell us. We know you. What years were you, Lindy? Like 2000, like 18 to 22, I think. Okay, Lindy's probably not hearing us.
You may not be near her computer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got kids.
Yeah, I think she's doing Dietrich stretches.
Oh, that's right. Okay. We
Yeah,
won't give her a hard time this time.
good, good. Think good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there she is. But DJ, wait, we should ask you, did you have a crush in high school? Okay. DJ said I had a graduation party and that was the last time I saw most of my friends besides my best friend that lived next door.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I think that's kind of true of all high school.
Yep.
It's very hard to.
I had a few
There's
friends
so many
go to
people
the
that say-
same college as me, so but that was about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe the people that played sports together, they they were on teams together for years and years. I know a lot of those people I don't play sports. Stay friends. The friends I got in high school, I didn't really interact with them much till somewhere after like several years, and we started talking on the internet. I've got one friend to talk to about every day, and oh, sorry, and I haven't seen him since high school, but we talk a lot. Well, all of us have our glory days. Um, and we're talking about friends that you don't see them as much. But yeah, that is weird when you can't go to people's house to visit them.
I mean, I guess relative to others who don't have disabilities, we probably are missing out on a lot of the social stuff. And I think I kind of felt that as well, for sure. But I mean, I wasn't still invited to things occasionally. I think it just it's more difficult for us in many cases. So that's probably part of the consideration. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on in other people's minds. But yeah.
Well, it is kind of weird when you have have to be dropped off and picked up by your parents. That's not cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to all the football games with my dad and my brother. One day it was a homecoming dance. I had been nominated for homecoming king. I didn't get it. Football player got it, of course. And my friends were always talking about going to the dances and all this stuff. So I go to the dance, tell my parents, all right, come back and pick me up at this time. Not a single one of my friends was there.
Oh,
Yeah, planning the times is always more
Yeah.
difficult.
So Matthew got most of my friends. Matthew says most of my friends I got from MDA camp. How many of you guys went to like a summer camp?
I
Or in-
did. I think I stopped going after freshman year of high school. Kind of forget the reasons, but I was busy with different things. But that was kind of my situation.
Okay. I never went to an MDA summer camp and now Jet has camps and stuff for the summer too. I've never been to one. When I was young, I was very shy. Like I didn't want anybody but my mom seeing me naked. And one hospital still will cure you of that. Like everybody sees you naked when you're in the hospital.
mhm.
But I never went to one. As a result, I didn't really know anybody that had Duchenne until a few years ago. And this kind of stuff's what really helped me to
Mhm.
beat everybody.
Mhm.
Well, I think it was also kind of diffuse in terms of it's not just Duchenne, it's like many different neuromuscular disease. So, I mean, I did meet a few other people with Duchenne, but like it's not like the most common, if that makes sense. Well, yeah, like that's not everyone had it basically. So, there were other ones as well, but still we have like similar shared experiences as well. DJ says I never went because my home was pretty much a summer camp for all my family, especially my cousins.
Yeah, once I got, when I turned 12, like 12, 13, I went to scout camp. But my parents went too. They had a camp trailer. They'd stay in the camp trailer. I'd go with them at night and sleep in the camp trailer. Then in the morning, my scout leader was there, and he made this 3-wheel bike for me. And then he would roll me up there. I'd stay up with them the rest of the day. If I needed anything, they'd roll me back down. But so I never went to camps. I kind of wish I had the way, but you know, there's pluses and minuses to it. Yeah, Matthew. Yeah, sorry. So Matthew was actually cool in high school, unlike us. You know, I think we were. So Matthew, I did a rap in 12th grade at the school pep rally, and everyone cheered. It was awesome.
And give us the lyrics.
I don't know, Matthew. Are you more of a freestyle, or do you write out before I had to memorize it?
I don't know if we'll get the beat right. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do that.
Well, we don't have the skill. Plus, you know what, DJ and I doing it will come out sound like MC Hammer or
Oh,
Vanilla
okay.
Ice or something.
Um, yeah, Matthew says he can't remember. That was in 07. And DJ says, I agree, Ryan. I wish I would have. I wish I would have would have been great to relate to others like me. Oh, you mean the camp thing? Yeah.
Yeah, caps. So,
Oh,
Lindy asks us. Oh, okay. Matthew writes his rap out.
oh, that would be cool.
Rap out, not ripe. Rap out. So Lindy asks if academics is hard to keep up with, given all the medical things to attend to. For me, my time in high school, I had bad grades up to fifth grade. My biggest thing was all the social stuff because I was the youngest and I had bad social skills. I got that taken care of. Then in middle school, I had focused really hard at grades. 8th grade, I got straight A's. It was real easy. I got to high school. There's a little bit of work, and I decided, I got enough other stuff going on. For me in high school, I was happy getting C's and B's. Unless it's history, that I wanted to get an A in history. So, because for me, I thought I could have been a straight A student in high school, but I didn't want to have to study and put all the extra time into it. Plus, I don't like homework. So I refuse to do a lot of homework. How about you, Felix? I feel like you're in the science club. I feel like you probably did a
Well,
pretty good
I
job.
don't-
Talking about
Yeah, I guess for my side of things, medical wise, I didn't wasn't really involved in like the physical therapy or anything that took a lot of time, I guess. So I was able to sort of I guess keep up with the others. Not to brag, I was actually ranked number 7 at the end of my senior year for high school. So I mean, it wasn't easy. It took a lot of work, and I had to like make sure that I could keep up my energy levels, basically. So making sure I can, yeah, basically I tried to use my time as efficiently as possible to get as much work done, basically.
Okay. Well, Matthew just posted something that kind of ticks me off. So Matthew said eventually academics got rough, but it was because of a teacher that refused to follow my IEP. Man, I wouldn't think that stuff would happen in 2003 or 2007.
That
Well,
kind of happened to me briefly once. Basically, they wouldn't let me leave early because apparently I was disrupting class, but I wasn't.
Oh,
So I don't know that. I guess I can somewhat relate, but probably not to the same level.
do you want to read DJ's comment for us?
Sure. DJ says my academics suffered tremendously in high school, mostly due to not having the ability to really do things such as opening my books, getting my notebooks out, and the medical aspects never made an impact.
I should say I forgot the medical aspects of mine. I did do physical therapy. I had a crush on my physical therapist too. Anyway, she's really awesome. Still is a close family friend. But I kind of quit going to clinic and stuff in high school. Just my clinic was at like a university where they were teaching students. So I just got where I felt like I was somebody's clinical or their like as a midterm or something or the finals. So I kind of quit going. And as a result, I used the same first electric wheelchair for 14 or 15 years. Nobody told me you could get new equipment every 5 years.
Mm.
Well, DJ, you say ladies, man, but these are all like women that are way too old for me, back then and married. So, yeah.
Hmm.
It was like a crush. I just thought they're really not. My physical therapist is really nice. Did we read DJ's? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a little distracted because of my article that came out today. But yeah, I
That's
had to
pretty
have
cool.
friends to help me get my books out and stuff, so that was annoying. One thing I finally did, I tried to use a locker my freshman year, and to get my wheelchair there, I took up so many locker spaces that everything be mad and tell me, "Hey, get out of my way," you're taking too long. So I just had a teacher that would let me leave my books in their classroom. That made things easier.
Yeah, I kind of just carried everything around. I never really used the locker.
Yeah, because it's true. You're in the way of it. People are in a hurry. So,
Yep.
I'll read what Matthew says. The one thing I would tell parents: don't take any crap from anyone at your son's school, and I'll say child because there are women that also can't get Duchenne.
DJ said, "I do wish the school would have offered more help than waiting for me to ask."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. They won't give you anything that you don't ask for, basically. Anything beyond that.
That was one of my problems is I wouldn't ask. I wanted to do everything myself. Like there were doors. There was one door that had a handicap button on it, but it was way off away from where you get dropped off by your bus. So no, that's okay, Matthew. I just want to make sure everybody everybody identifies different too. So but and one of the teachers, an aide that helped other students get off the bus, asked me in my IEP to ask for handicapped door buttons. Well, I wouldn't do it because I could do it by, I don't need that. I realized I should have done that.
Yeah, my school didn't have any buttons whatsoever anywhere. But,
Really?
yeah.
What years? Wow, 2011 to 15?
Yep. I always have to wait. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I do some maneuver with my scooter to get me out there, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not the safest thing to do.
Well, I will say, I know I'm going to go back to college again. I learned in college, I would figure out it was usually a girl. What like I usually had at least one person I was in one class with, and then I was in the next class with. So we
Mhm.
became friends, and we would you know, so I go to that class with that friend. There might have been guys too, but I didn't pay. I don't, you know, that was the last resort.
Yeah, there used to be this computer lab in our school that everyone would hang out at after school. So that's kind of where it got to meet a lot of people. Um, various things going on. People preparing for this and that. But that was a good atmosphere, I think.
So now Matthew's the first to answer Lindy's question for us. So high school was harder. People were meaner than a junior high, and it was just rough for me, unfortunately.
DJ also says, I forget what this reference to, but that was
I
very
think we're talking
clear.
about the doors, IEP
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
I did the same, Ryan. I couldn't get out by just pushing the door open, but I had to wait to get in. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And every now and then you might get your chair hung up on something.
Yep. Something that got me kind of annoyed sometimes is that the buses would be late and I would have to rush the first period. And then
Oh,
sometimes it's just like ridiculous, but that was one of my pet peeves at that time.
I the bus wasn't so in middle school, the bus was great. I was about as far away from the school as they went. And I didn't have to get on the bus too early. I got to school at a good time. Sometimes too early, especially in the cold. But I did learn wheelchairs slide really cool on ice. But and then my junior year, somebody moved in that like lived 15 minutes past my house for 10 minutes. So I had to start getting on the bus 20 minutes earlier. And that was roughly going home. I'd drive by my past my house. Then have to wait 20 minutes to go
Oh
out
yeah, yeah.
back. It's like, can I just cross the street? No, you can't do that. Okay.
Yeah, I totally get that. And sometimes people on the bus are late to get on the bus, which makes you have to wait a long period of time. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
So DJ says, or do you want to read it, Felix? I think I read.
Okay, sure. DJ says there's no difference between junior high and high school because it was the same place for me. Our actual junior high only had 2 accessible rooms, so most classrooms were for both. For both was in the high school. Oh, okay.
And yeah, I thought I was from a small school, never mind. So for me, high school, I think I got along with people in high school pretty well. Oh, DJ says my bus is always the first to arrive and the first to leave.
Oh, nice.
I used to had to get out of school early for get on my bus too. That was always nice. But I think in high school, I got along with people pretty well. I got along well in middle school. One time in middle school, all there one teacher taught all the science classes, and well, it was in a second floor classroom. That the only way to get to it was steps. And I get there
Oh,
that first day, and I'm like, wait a minute. Or before think at the end of the year, I was like, I can't go upstairs. Anybody's ever played Borderlands 3 and knows who Claptrap is, like stairs, I can't climb stairs. Anyway, so the one that taught my English teacher in 8th grade taught English and social studies also had to do a science class. By the time I got to high school, I think everything was pretty good. As far as I know, maybe somebody new to everything is pretty much wheelchair accessible in high school.
yeah, I guess
Really.
I didn't talk about mine yet, but yeah, I guess the major difference for me was like the high school is a lot larger than the middle school, so getting to classes could be all the way across the building to the other end, which made things difficult for sure. I guess that was one of the major differences, and then there's just so many people is another difference as well. Middle school is still manageable, but high school just so many. Which sometimes it got overwhelming, but generally that was okay. And then I've always had to like have different teachers pretty much every year. So that was also a challenge too, to try to make sure that they understand what my accommodations are and what I need. Sometimes that was kind of difficult to explain, and sometimes teachers weren't so accepting of that. But for the most part, it was still pretty good, I would say. And we also had a second floor, but there was an elevator. What was also kind of annoying at that time was there's like a freshman wing versus the rest of the school wing. And sometimes, like, if a class is in the freshman wing, I have to go downstairs and then go onto another elevator to go upstairs again because there's no way to get across to the other side. But that was just a slight annoyance. But generally, it was pretty much everything was accessible as well.
Okay. Yeah, so my school had a ramp on one side, a ramp on the other. So my friends, they usually go down the ramp with me, but there's a lot faster way to go downstairs. But,
Hmm.
but still, I was glad to have that. Well, one nice thing for a lot of times in school, this I had some great conversations because my bus to get there before. Sometimes depending on the class or
Yeah.
what's going on, especially when I was in a manual wheelchair, a student got to go with me to the bus. So they got out of class early too. So people liked me because of that.
I got to do that a few times too. Forget which semesters, but that was a similar thing too. People were just happy to get out.
Yeah, I think it depends on one of them. Like I had to clear across campus from where the bus
Hmm.
came. So
DJ says it was a good half mile from one end to the other for me. I finally got an elevator my senior year, during construction, and I did that every day, Ryan. I think you said
really,
about the ramp thing.
yeah, okay, but a half mile. Well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
It's funny.
my school was actually, I don't know. I guess similar actually. Yeah, it was pretty big.
Yeah, I don't think mine is too spread out. It was but yeah, sure it felt like it. My
Yeah.
school had a like two stories. The bottom story was like halfway a halfway basement. Then they built the dirt up to the second
Oh,
floor. So everything had a ground level exit up there. But
oh,
yes, those
interesting.
ramps are pretty steep. I know one day I was going up them. Uh, I would like I would love to try going down in a manual wheelchair, but I probably would have hurt myself pretty bad because they were pretty steep. I don't remember one time I was going up with some
Hmm.
occupational therapist or something. It's like, wow, these ramps aren't ADA compliant. I'm like, really? It worked for me.
Um,
Oh,
do you want to read Matthews, Ryan?
yeah,
And then
so
we'll
I
get
know
to
DJ
Lindy's.
couldn't use the bathroom, but I had a male teacher help me with the urinal. What about you, Felix and Ryan?
So at that time, I still was remain. So I kind of alluded to this last week, but I still was able to go on my own. It was only until high school when no, not high school, college when it wasn't mobile anymore. But before that, I didn't have an issue.
Okay, so what I did was up there in that self-contained classroom. Everybody that worked up there became a good friend. One of the aides up there did my physical therapy 4 out of the 5 days a week. And then my physical therapist came 1 day a week just but finally after my senior year, most of the time I had a urinal that I kept in a bathroom they had up there in a bag, and I was able to get the urinal and take care of everything myself. And then they decided I needed a gel cushion. And I learned that I could scoot forward with it, but then that meant all the gel would squish back behind me, and I wasn't able to get myself
Oh.
back.
Mhm.
So one of the lady did my therapy that I knew, she was willing to help me. I don't think I ever did it, had her help me much. Usually if something happened, I call my mom or I just go home earlier. But there was one day that I had to really go number two, and my mom was helping my grandma. I couldn't get a hold of her. I don't. That meant even though I messed my pants, how was I going to get a hold of my mom? So I had two teachers help me. One of them had worked in a nursing home before, so that was awkward for me. But at least I was able to wipe myself back then. But I did have to go home a few times for not being able to hold it long enough. One trick I'd recommend to anybody out there that if you ever do have an accident in your pants while you're waiting for your ride to pick you up, sit by the garbage can. That way people just think the smell's the garbage can. I did that more than once. I had a friend like,
I
why
have
are you
never
sitting next
thought
to
of
the
that
garbage?
before.
Doesn't
Mhm.
that stink? Oh, I'm just trying to stay in the shade. Okay. Um, so Lindy wanted us to talk more about adult staff that wouldn't support accommodating you all. It happens a lot
Oh.
today, and I'm still stuck by it. I
Hmm.
actually got along really well with my staff at school, but I think it's because my siblings were 15 to 22 years older than me, and my parents were like 42 and 43 when I was born. So most of the teachers are younger than my parents, and the age, close to the age of my siblings. And I had students quite a few times. But how do you talk to teachers like that? They're like, "What do you mean?" I just talk to them like they're, like I was their peer.
Hmm.
Some teachers didn't like that, but uh, I had it. Things pretty good for me.
Yeah, for me it was pretty good as well. I think I got along with most teachers. I think for the restroom situation, actually just remember this is that I also was pretty good friends with the nurse basically. And they would let me use the restroom there because it was more ADA compliant. So that was helpful for sure compared to using the public restroom. I did have, I mean, I wouldn't say I didn't have staff that weren't accommodating, but generally how that kind of worked was going through my case manager. Um, and generally that would have been enough for them to like be accommodating. But I don't know. I guess I didn't have any other like specific troubles other than that, but like the teachers not letting me leave early, there are those teachers. Um, but generally I think people are like if you complain to the right people, it kind of just it just gets taken care of. But I don't know if that's a helpful answer or not.
Yeah, DJ says, I agree, Ryan. For the most part, the teachers were great. Some were definitely not into it. And Matthew told us how he had one teacher that wasn't really good at stuff. So, Matt, I'll let you read Matthew's comment, Felix.
All right, Matthew said I had a vice principal that was terrible. He has students in my classroom. How did I bother them? And I had a teacher complain to me about having to move classrooms because I couldn't get into her building.
Man,
No. Mm-hmm.
uh, like that sounds like stuff that happened to me like in fourth grade. But I get that a teacher doesn't want to have to move their classroom, but
Yeah.
you know what? We're individuals too. DJ says the school itself wasn't as accommodating as you would think. I mean, schools, they are trying to run things. They're trying to,
Yeah.
they make teachers do so much paperwork and so much stuff. But oh, the principal got fired.
Oh, okay.
But I had the principal at my middle or vice principal at my middle school got fired. But that's because he kept trying to ask female staff to get in the hot tub with him.
Oh, okay.
And
So
stuff and
different
other
reason.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I actually knew the principal pretty well because coincidentally, when I graduated junior high, he got upgraded, promoted to high school principal. So it was the same principal since middle school, and it was pretty nice because he's been pretty supportive of a lot of different things and made sure like I got what I needed basically. So
Oh, that's cool.
so yeah, getting to know the I guess the administration's always helpful in those types of challenging scenarios. But of course, in Matthew's case, those are the people who did cause him trouble. But
Yeah. In high school, so in like up to 5th grade or 6th grade, I got in trouble constantly. 4th grade, I had detention every day. 5th grade, like maybe
mhm.
once every 3 days. I saw the principal a lot. But one time in high school, I had to go see the vice principal for ditching. The because I took some resource classes in 1st grade for reading. Every 3 years, somebody would come and take me out of class. I had to do IQ test and other things to see how I was doing. Well, they didn't turn it into my next class, and I missed the whole class. So the vice principal called me in there, and she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "I didn't go anywhere. What am I going to do? Go? Where am I going to go? You know?"
Yeah, disappear into thin air.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, DJ says something similar. I only met the principal when I was in trouble for being absent too much.
Yeah, they get there. You're like, oh, I guess you're. Hopefully, the principal figured it out. Lindy says, sounds like the main place you guys socialized was at school because of accessibility issues. Did anyone ever hang out at your homes?
Yes,
Um, okay,
yeah, go
yeah, go
ahead,
ahead.
Ryan.
Well, I was just going to say, so I had a few bad experiences with friends. I had this one friend that he had some issues. Let's just say he lives in a place where it's not jail or prison, but he has to be signed out and have permission to leave. But he would come to my house and things would constantly disappear. He'd steal stuff. One day, I had a bunch of baseball cards, and he stole all of them. Said he could have them. So that kind of scared me off. So I didn't really have too many people come to my house. I had a few after I got to know them. But other than school, I had people at church. Some guys from church. I didn't really know how to hang out. One day, one guy and another one that was homeschooled, like they hung out a lot. Say, hey, let's go to your house and hang out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So we played Monopoly, and then we sat out in my front yard and waved at people as they drove by. Like we knew who they were. And I was like, oh wow, is this hanging out? Then one day, a guy at school the next day is like, how'd you guys know that was me? Well, we just do. But yeah, most of my hanging out was at school. I thought that's where most people hang out. Was at school. So I have a friend now that I guess he's still a friend. He not talking to me right now too much, but he's always been upset that I never went to his house. I don't go to his house now. Just now it's a little bit frightening a little bit to go out, but not frightening, but you know what I mean. Just
Yeah.
but yeah, because I didn't know about hanging out. But yeah, DJ said that was mostly the case, Lindy. My best friends would hang out with me. My neighbor was with me every single day because we really enjoyed hanging out.
Yeah, I guess for me as well, mostly at school as well. Um, I mean, I think people know by now I was a big nerd in high school, so there were times when we would hang out for academic reasons, so that's when that's happened. But I mean, sometimes we still do things after whenever we have time. So, occasionally,
And Fix, you said you were a nerd back then?
yes, I was a nerd.
You're not a nerd
Not
now.
cool.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. You're cool now. Well, now it's cool to be a nerd, so it's all right.
Yeah.
You want to read Matthew's comment? for us?
Sure. Matthew said, honestly, I was always told to stop talking, and people were mean, so I went into a show and just did my schoolwork. But in 12th grade, I started being myself again. I had a few friends over at the house. That sounds mean.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah,
But,
that's not good.
But I'm glad you know, in 12th grade, you started having friends at your house again. It's also nice you had friends that didn't abandon you through your shell years.
Oh yeah.
You know, they were still there and supporting you.
Yeah, I guess like good thing being a nerd is that everyone that I knew that were my friends were also nerds, so we were kind of like awkward together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Matthew says sorry to be negative, but high school's mostly hell.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Matthew.
Yeah,
Let's
sorry to hear that.
hope that Matthew's experiences will help the current generation and future generation. It is important. You know, I think you don't want to be a jerk to the school, to the teachers, and just be too insistent, but you know, you do have to stand up for what you need and
Yep.
what you want. Uh, you know, especially in the 2000s, people should know that, hey, you know, we're regular people. We're like anybody else. And so, Matthew, I hope everybody can learn from your experiences. DJ says, I do definitely miss hanging out with my best friends for sure. My one best friend still lives next door, but we haven't hung out for way too long. And my other best friend passed. I do wish we could still hang out. Dang, DJ, I'm sorry about your friend passing.
Matthew says after high school, my life felt like it began.
Well, we're all on a different journey.
Yep.
I could honestly say in some ways, my life really, I don't, what you want, how you want to look at it. I can see it a lot of ways. In some ways, my life only started a couple of years ago. I was doing all this school and everything all this time. I didn't know what I was going to do. I stayed home with my parents. They started getting like health problems. I didn't feel like I could leave them, so I never did. Then the last few years, I got a PhD, and had a good time for a little bit. And then everything changed big time. So we all have our different time and our different journey. Like I'm jealous of you, Matthew, that like after high school, your life felt like it began. That you must have had a good head on your shoulders. And DJ says that is for sure, Ryan. What did I say about life beginning, or is that what you're referring to, DJ? Okay, I will say all through school, I always got in trouble for talking too much. And everybody in the class can be talking. I'd say like 2 words. Ryan, that's detention. Don't talk. But yeah,
It actually happened to me in elementary a lot. And I never understood that because people tell me I don't talk enough now.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they still tell me I talk too much. Since I was little, my dad called me a bionic jaw because I talked so much.
Well, kids will be kids, right? That's all part of it. We don't talk, how do we make friends, right?
Yeah.
And Lindy, I don't know if you were saying something, but you're muted. DJ said for the most part, high school was great.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I thought of being a stand-up comedian, but they just told me to sit down. don't hurt myself. I think everybody in wheelchairs tried that something like that joke before. I get pretty funny once I get going. How much did you guys know about DMD in high school?
Yeah, I think she just typed in the chat basically.
Like, I think I basically knew, about the wasting away stuff and that
Yeah.
it would get worse. Well, thank you, DJ. Now that I'm in USA Today,
For
I
sure.
will maybe that'll be happening.
Yeah, I would go to your show as well.
Well, thank you.
Just tell us the time and date.
All right, it will be next year, sometime next year. We'll say let's say July next year,
Or May
2020.
the 4th, right?
Yeah, we could do May the 4th, 2023. So there is a thing called oh great, I can't think of what it's called. Lindy, help me out here. Like positive, hold on. Oh, the law of attraction that says if you put things out there and you start planning for it and talk about it, like talk to the universe or God, whatever you want to say, that'll start happening. So this is good for anybody. I'll just say a quick cool story.
Mhm.
This comes from a book by Jen Circo called "You Are a Badass at Making Money," and it's about Jim Carrey. He
Oh,
worked in
mhm.
high school, helping support his family, and one day he wrote himself a check for $1 million and dated it like 5 years in the future. And almost to the day, he
Oh,
got
wow.
paid $1 million for Dumb and Dumber. So like, hey, there you go, guys. So
Yeah, that's
put
how you
that
do
out
it.
there. But other than my show, I think I thought I knew a lot about Duchenne back then, but I don't think I knew that much. Most thing I got kids just ask me, "Hey, Papa Wheelie."
Yeah, I guess for me, I actually do quite a bit. My dad does research in biology, so he knew very deeply like what is going on. So kind of absorbed that through him. So I mean, I knew pretty well what my situation was for the disease. I know like sometimes it's kind of hard to talk about, but I think knowing that is also important for individual themselves with Duchenne. Um, I don't know. That's from my opinion that we should know about that kind of stuff for sure.
Yeah, like I knew the basics of it, that what the prognosis is supposed to be, but I never believed I would die young. I was always believing there'd be a cure
Mm-hmm.
or some miraculous thing happen. What I've learned since then is, there's other kind of ways to be healed or cured. Maybe not necessarily physical. And no matter what age you are, when if you're okay with who you are and you live a happy life, live every day like it could be your last, I think that's a type of healing there. So DJ says I knew everything that was known at that time, and it did affect how I saw life during and after school. So
And
see, I think that
yeah,
might
go
be
ahead.
part of why I avoided it.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult topic for sure.
What
Matthew
you-
says in 8th grade I read everything about DMD, so I knew everything in high school, and always believed I wouldn't die young. But it makes me sad when someone dies young. Oh, okay, yeah, read DJ for
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard thing about Duchenne.
Yeah.
There is, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and there's at least 40 types of neuromuscular dystrophy. But anybody watching this, there's really more or less like 40 different types of Duchenne.
Yeah.
None of us know exactly, none of us are the exact same. And but the way I look at it is I went to high school and there were so many people, everybody in high school thought I would die early. And they thought like I'd be the first one in our class to die. What's sad, through accidents, cancer, other things, there's been so many that I went to school with that have passed away before I have. So for me, I would say it's important to know what Duchenne is like and what you may be facing. But keep in mind that none of us really know what we're going to face and what may come in our future. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
do your best and be happy every day. So Lindy wants to know if there's anything we kept secret from our parents during high school that they should have known about. Matthew says things for DMD has gotten better, so the outlook's different now. And yeah, DJ, I thought myself, right? I've had many friends pass as well. Yeah, it's a
Happened to me as well.
yeah. So that's one thing for parents out there, kids. Just it's just part of life. People live, people pass. But yeah. So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I think I told you guys about the kid that used to tease me that I was going to die at 18, and he passed away at 20 from a car accident or a motorcycle accident. So do you guys have anything you kept from parents during high school that they should have known about?
Not really for me.
No, I came home. I told my mom everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to come home and tell everything. I can't keep a secret. I can once in a while.
Yeah, we were a team to handle everything because we have to figure out stuff, right? So many
Yeah.
things to figure out. So honestly, not really. It's about working together.
Maybe I didn't tell my mom about some of the stupid things I did regarding that poor girl that I liked. Yeah, DJ, I kept everything from my dad, but mom knew absolutely everything. I didn't talk to my dad as much because he was working all the way up till my senior year. He retired on my senior year because of the age. But I think there were a lot of things I didn't tell him. I talked to him about girls, about chicken stuff I was interested in. But I kind of think too, is like, you don't want to look weak in front of your dad. At least I didn't want to. And later on, I learned my mom said she only saw him right twice, and one of the times is when they found out I had muscular dystrophy. And so it's my dad knew what was going on, but dad's talk a little bit different. Yeah, Matthew says my kept secrets are still secret. Is that because you forgot? Or because maybe we don't want to know. Never mind. Don't
You
tell us
signed an
about the
NDA. You can't
Yeah.
tell us.
The CIA closed that file.
Yep.
So DJ, how come? Or you just yeah, okay. Okay, I see.
What happened to MD stays in NBA?
Oh, okay. Stays it mad, okay. You get mad at MDA, hey, we're gonna keep this. But yeah, it's true. There was some stuff that happened to me much earlier in my school years that I guess I should have told my mom back then. But high school there wasn't anything. So the relationship differences during teen years between mom versus dad. Do you guys want to elaborate on that some more? Before I go all psychology on it?
I mean, for me, it wasn't too much of a difference. I guess it depended, or what we talked about was different between mom and dad, but that just kind of like, since I'm going down the road of research as well as my dad was as well. So we talk about that kind of stuff more. Maybe with my mom, more of the social side, I guess. I don't know. Approximately the same, to be honest with you.
Okay. I think for me, my interactions were different. Like I watched old classic movies with my mom, and I watched NASCAR and football and sports with my dad. So we talk about different things.
Yeah, I guess that's for me too. Like I guess like relationship wise, maybe like it's just different in terms of what we're interested in. But
And I'm sure it's probably different for us than most people. A lot of times at some
yeah,
point, people like have different relationships with their mom than they do their dad. And it also depends on your like how you identify and um but for us, we can't really do that whole distance from our parents thing. Where a lot of times kids will they have a stage where they want to stay in the room all day, eat in the room, never leave the room. And when you have to have your mom like feed you, like take care of other things, you can't
yeah,
really have that option.
exactly. Yeah.
But I'm not complaining.
And like also if you make any decisions, it can impact your parents as well. Like in terms of scheduling, those types of things could impact them too. So like being considerate of that is important, especially later down the line when you have to plan everything. Basically, it's important to have that communication.
Okay. DJ says it was a polar opposites between mom and dad. My dad just wasn't easy to get along with, but my mom has always just been there. And Matthew says same here, DJ. Um, like I could talk to my mom about anything. My dad, he'd get home from work, he had his routine, he'd take a shower, sit down in his recliner and watch TV and sports. Well, we'd eat dinner too. But so we didn't talk a whole lot. Like my mom, I'd be sitting at the table just talking away. And my dad's over there scarfing his food down and he's done, goes back. Um, but one thing I learned about my dad later on, when my dad was like 27, he married a girl that was younger and she passed away in an accident, which before I don't think no, she's even 21 yet. It left him with a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old baby. And I realized later on that really changed my dad. So I think kind of he had some depression and things that he he wouldn't admit to or would because he's the dad, he's supposed to be tough. And so I think later on I realized it was pretty tough for him, my situation. Because if a child's born, parents were thinking they didn't do pre-screening back then. My parents both were pretty athletic. They thought I was going to be this great athlete, and all these things that you hope for. So I think part of his not talking was just helping him to cope as well. But we'd talk about other stuff. We hung out, but just
Yeah.
we didn't really talk about muscular dystrophy. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on everyone's situation, right? Like we said before, not everything is Duchenne related. It's just simply everyone's to each their own, basically.
yeah, and one thing. So DJ says not sure it's just how it was. I'll try to figure that out. I think now it's better, especially after I started taking some like psychology courses, and I'm actually pretty good at talking. There's a sometimes it gets me in trouble, but talking's good for any dads out there or any guys out there.
Yep.
You know what? Talk. Say what you're feeling. Don't be afraid to say what you're feeling. Just get it out there. It's okay to be vulnerable. Men can cry. I cry. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I watched Mama Mia, and I cried. I watched Mama Mia too. I cried even more. It's like, dang, carefully watch Mama Mia too. Um, that's cool, Matthew. Your friend tells dad everything.
That's like me and my dad actually.
My dad's always too busy cracking jokes to, like, I was like, wait, are you serious? Or you just crack jokes a lot, I think.
Oh, we have a lot of inside jokes, me and my dad.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to get annoyed at all the stuff my dad said. Like, somebody says, like, oh, great, here we go with this. But of course, now I'm like, dang it, I wish I could hear those again.
Mhm.
Oh, stepmom, I don't think I've seen that one. You know the one I saw maybe Instant Family, or I think it's got Mark Wahlberg where they become foster parents. Anyway, sorry for not talking about stuff that makes it cry. So, final questions. Any advice for teens with DMD or their parents? So, I think first of all, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Got that.
I agree with that.
Crying's like scars. Chicks actually do like crying. I don't think they really care about scars. Okay. So while Matthew and DJ are typing up their sage advice, do you have any advice for teens with DMD or their parents, Felix?
Yeah, I'm just I don't know if this is easy to do, but I think it's important growing up with DMD to know the perspective of your parents and really know what's going on, because that's it's not just like, for me, like if I want to do something that not necessarily possible if the schedule doesn't work out. So knowing those types of things are important, and knowing that your parents are also making sacrifices for you is important to know, that you also should consider that and try to reduce those issues as much as possible, because really everyone's one team, so you don't want to mess that up.
And I'll say, so Felix, you talk about knowing how your parents feel. I don't want to get anybody like, don't feel sad for me. But so last year my parents both passed away, and they were both here in the home. And as I watched them, just for that little bit of time, I realized how they must have felt my whole life. That is a cute puppy. But
Yes.
they were told that I would die early. My mom held on to that. And it wasn't until I watched them and thought, man, how many more moments do I have? So for parents, I understand that you're torn. You want to have your life, do what you want to do, and your things. You want to do what your child wants and help your child. And with DMD or any disability, there's a lot more that needs to be done. But just make sure that you help your child. Let them have some failures. Let them have some times where they're going to let them struggle. And don't forget yourself. Still take care of yourself, but
Yeah, taking care of yourself is taking care of your child.
yeah, like you know what? If you need to talk to your doctor, they think you need medication, or they think you need something. If you feel like you need some time off, like maybe just a day to yourself, do it. That'll help you and your child. And parents, when you think your child's old enough, don't be afraid to talk to them about your feelings too. And what DJ said, I would just say, I do try to talk about everything because it does help when the whole family is together.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in with like,
Okay, go ahead. Wait, oh, Lindy, I'll let you can cut me off anytime, Lindy. It's okay.
sorry, I totally read over DJ.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay, so I guess my question is, when did you guys start to have this big kind of realization that you have to work as a team with your parents? That seems like a very mature realization for a teen to come to.
So this is why I'm saying, like, maybe it's not the easiest thing to do as a teenager. I guess for me, it just happened gradually, just like with different challenges, like how to actually face that, and it just came from communicating with my parents and trying to solve the problems together. I guess when I felt it the most was in college, when I had to like sort of think about what made sense for me to participate in and things like that, because we were like so for me, I had to commute to the university every day with carpooling with my parents, so that was the easiest thing to do. But like I also had to consider, did they want to go home, things like that, like after a long day, was a late night activity too much, that kind of thing, in college. So those are all kinds of things I considered at the time, and just trying to make sure like the schedule works out for everyone.
I don't think I really, I mean, in high school, I talked to my parents. If there's a school event or something, I just say, hey, I want to go to this. Okay. When I turned 18, we didn't do the pushing through the school, but my parents let me decide whatever I wanted to do. They trusted me.
Yeah.
Besides, they know I'm not going to go sneaking out in the middle of the night. But yeah, somewhere along the way, it just kind of happened. If you want to read Matthews, and
Do we
No,
want to
s-
read DJ's
let's
thing real quick?
you read DJ, then I'll read Matthews.
Okay. So he said, let me just scroll up here. Let your kids, I guess, do what they need to do, and don't worry, they'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, for I did. He says I forget which point this is referring to, DJ, but I would agree. I just have always wished for it to be that way.
But he said so above that. I said I would just say try to talk about everything, because I think we read that. The other comment I believe was about like the team thing and
Oh yeah, yeah.
came like that. Matthew's advice for DMD teens is to talk about your feelings and don't be afraid to speak up if someone's bothering you, and don't be afraid to talk to people and make friends. Because eventually people are going to talk to you and find out you're just a regular person. You just get around a little bit different. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's all right. I don't. It's hard for me to listen and talk too. So, was that Lindy? Well, some of us are normal. Well, don't worry, Lindy. We don't. Nobody considers you normal. You're Lindy. You're just awesome, is what you are.
Yep.
You're way beyond normal. Yeah, DJ, a time machine would be nice to have. What I wish I could do is have my brain now and go back in time to high school. I think I'd be
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I'd do better. Except I'd be talking to the teacher and say, that's not right, man. That's what you can't talk to me like that. I can talk to you like that. I'm got a PhD. Oh wait, I don't know. Yeah, so I decided I don't want to go back in time now.
You know what I would want? Like a robotic body that I could transfer my consciousness into. That would be awesome. Like in the movies.
You know, there was a study I saw, a doctor in Italy that was trying to do head transplants.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he did it on a dog, and the dog walked backwards afterwards. But I'm like, let's wait for them to perfect that a little bit more. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be the first trial.
Yeah, I think there was a person, it sounds scary, but basically there was a body transplant where they would sew his head onto someone else's donated body, but like I think at the last moment he didn't do it, but it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it's all right, Matthews. Okay, Lindy, can you quote Back to the Future for us to help us take it away? Like, it's 5:30 already. Yeah, I would want
Oh,
somebody else's body, because I mean,
it's extreme.
You know,
I don't say anything because we're on live, but I'd make another comment. But
I have a wicked Australian accent, but
crikey. Go ahead and do your Australian accent. So I feel like we can hear about it Tuesday. But yeah, I was gonna say something about a body transplant. I can't say it there. I'll tell you guys later.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Carnival.
Are there any questions anybody has? Or all right, I think we're good. 5:30. This has been great. To infinity and beyond. Oh, by the way, the movie Lightyear is coming
Oh
out
yeah.
in June 17th, I believe. So next week we'll talk about after high school. And can I, before we go, I just want to brag a little bit. I'm sorry. I am in USA
Go
Today
ahead.
right now. An article, and I'm going to go ahead and post it here, so you guys could read that and find us later. Come back next Thursday, do your homework. DJ is doing a giveaway, or not a giveaway. So DJ is doing the Jet Giving Fund, which they help them get a vehicle. So right now, I believe if you look at the information, you can find where you can donate to help DJ get his fund for the vehicle. He has to raise half the money. Let's get DJ's in there. And after we get his in there, if this USA Today article thing really kicks off for me, maybe I can make sure DJ and I both get new vans. But we're going to get DJ's first.
Did Matthew put his lyrics?
Oh,
We don't
No.
walk, we roll, so we don't. So we do need roads. I don't know. Maybe not. Where are we going?
no. In Back to the Future, it says, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, right.
There are no roads. There we go. All right. So thank you, anybody. Yeah, help us get those vans. We'd be cruising in style. Think about anything you would like to ask, and leave a comment here or message family friends of Duchenne. Reach out to us. We'll answer that in a future episode. And
Yep.
Thanks for being here. See you next time.
All right, bye. EJ also says bye.
Matthew says bye too. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Matthew.
Yeah, good luck on the van as well.